This is a video about cars. Welcome back to going around the UK in a tiny speedboat. In this episode, we're not looking at boats, we're looking at the Landrover Discovery that pulls the boat and what's going wrong with it. The support team have been having a few maintenance issues. It's a lonely sight. I've cooked my engine on the M3. The AA are coming. Well, thank you very much for coming to my rescue.
You're welcome.
And yes, we'll be able to take Harry for his next trip. You may remember we had a small altercation with the trailer. Pretty good. Oh, shit. It's time to repair the rip. The spike on the back of the trailer went through on the other side. This is Hypalon, very solid rubber, probably from the 1970s. Hopefully we can patch this up and it'll be good as new. I think there's water stuck here. Getting rid of the old glue here. Got this a few years ago. Apparently it was the last of the original Avon Hypalon. It's kind of woven rubber. This first patch has got to go on the inside. I'm trying to glue a patch on the inside of a hole, which of course, once you start sealing up the hole, there's nowhere for your hand to go. Using a piece of plastic, you can kind of cover the glue and then remove the plastic bit by bit. That seems to have worked. Slightly tricky, but we got there. Next up, we're going to go on with this. On a positive note, the fiberglassing repair on the bow here has been brilliant. It's completely solid, no cracks. It's been drying overnight and it's gone off pretty well. The patch is firmly attached. Recently the support team Landrover broke down, so we've been starting to look at it, and the MOT is running out and it could be curtains for the Landrover. It looks pretty good on the outside, but it apparently could have some rust underneath. So we're going to take the Landrover to a nice guy called Jordan, who's a 4x4 expert, and he said he can have a look at it.
Prone to a bit of chassis rot, but all in all they're quite an up-and-coming car at the moment. The last of what people would call the proper Land Rovers, realistically. This is the last solid axle vehicle that Land Rover made.
So we've actually gone for quite a good vehicle by mistake.
By mistake, yeah. I do love them. They're a bit of a love-hate relationship. If they've been looked after, they'll go for years and years and years.
Hello, hello. All right, let's have a look. How many miles has it done? Just shy of 215. It's a nice looking one though, isn't it? Don't you think?
It's a nice colour.
I was thinking it is the silver suits it, doesn't it? That grey. How was the drive, Chris? Very good. Oh, so you think underneath doesn't look too bad? No,
it's the rest of all of this. It's the fact that this would be its third patch.
Right.
It's a bit more rotten than I would have thought it is. The chassis is nice and solid. It's all the little bits But,
just rusted.
Do you think it's better to turn it into an expedition trailer?
All right, here we go.
That's steering box leaking, which is not the best. Your cross member that should be held on with 4 bolts either side is held on with 1. I'm sorry it's got any rust with how much oil's coming out of it.
Yeah. Why is that so oily?
Like it's leaking out of the sump, it's also leaking out of a few other places.
Right.
So.
But that's fairly normal.
Not to that extent.
Okay.
The engine mounts are knackered. This is all chassis, all down here.
And it looks fairly solid, doesn't it? I can see a little bit something there. What's
Yeah.
that?
The issue is if they start to rot up the front, it's how much is internal. They rot from the inside out, not the outside in. I don't know if you can see the step in between the 2 bits. So effectively it starts off life as 2 C-sections that get welded together. So there's an overlap here, which gets crud and salt and everything in between the 2 bits. This has had a patch before. Yeah.
Okay, on that bit of chassis, yeah.
That bit's all rotten as well.
Yeah. So we're going to look in this hole, so inside the chassis.
So that's looking up through the hole that's there. It's a bit worse for wear.
Yeah.
But the big flakes that you can see, that's from somewhere.
So is that sort of stacks of rust?
Stacks of flaky rust, all going all the way down to the back. So it should be nice and pretty like that. It's not great.
That looks like a hole.
Yeah, between something.
Yeah.
Normally when they rust down the front, people would consider it terminal.
Right.
Just not necessarily because it's not savable, but it's to the point where it might not be worth it.
Yeah, and we're rusting at the front.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So that's worse still on that side.
This body outrigger has been repaired and the repair is now failing.
Oh yeah.
Hey! There you go.
So that goes straight through. Really, so that's inside the cup, like.
That's in the engine bay.
Oh right.
Most of it's what's behind this plastic.
Yeah, the plastic's covering up loads of sin.
Wow. So it's just completely rusted through.
Yep. So
That definitely ain't going to pass the MOT, is it?
How are you feeling, Chris, about this?
I'm getting a little bit apprehensive.
So it's not a good place to be in.
Yeah.
So
It's coming right the way through.
yeah, the fronts are not horrendous, but the bodywork is what would, at this point, put it as an uneconomical repair. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would make more financial sense to buy another one.
But so technically it could be repaired.
It's whether it's viable on a financial or a actually making sense point of view to save it.
Would it be a massive job?
Yes.
What would you do?
Scrap it.
You're going to be sad to see it go though.
I get too emotional with these cars, so I'm always sad to see them go.
I wouldn't scrap it on the basis of the chassis. It would be on the basis of everything else. It's not the lowest mileage thing in the world.
No.
So if I can't drive it home, then I'll drive it to the scrappy.
Well, you've got to think new. This was a 40+ thousand pound car.
Yeah, this is a luxury car and it still looks it today.
It does.
How could you scrap it, Chris? Come on then, in you get, Chris.
In you get.
Well, thanks very much, Jordan.
It's all right.
Yeah, that's great.
It's sad prognosis. So how are you feeling, Chris? You feeling a bit sad?
Yeah. She's not gone yet though.
We did think about trying to keep the Land Rover going, doing a lot of the welding, but then we thought there's only so much time and money in the world, and maybe we should be spending our time doing something else. What do you think of the Land Rover, Reese? The Landrover Discovery was introduced back in 1989. It's considered the first real SUV, so it was a family car that could go properly off-road. The good thing about Discoveries is they're very good for towing boats in long distances. Unk's getting rid of the Land Rover, isn't he?
Why?
Why? Are you
Well,
getting...
why am I getting rid of it? Yes. It's gleaming, Harry.
What a shame.
Why am I scrapping it?
You ready to say goodbye, Chris?
No. I think it's alright.
This is the last drive.
The swan song.
Yeah.
It just crossed over the 215,000 mark.
I do feel sad that the Land Rover is going to die a death, and I feel slightly responsible because we've dragged it around the coast of the UK. And the support team decided that it is quite knackered. This one is the ES model, so it's got all of the gadgets: electric seats, CD changer, glorious leather seats, rear armrest, twin sunroofs, both electric, both broken and have been sealed shut. So what size engine is it?
It's a TD5, so it's got 5 cylinders.
Is that right?
Yeah, look, TD5. There's that brand new battery you put in, Harry.
But we never put the longer bolt in.
Right.
So last drive, CD.
Last drive.
How does it feel?
Sad. Very sad.
You sad? Come on then. Will it start?
Of course it will.
First time.
Tons, 260 kilos.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
It'll now be depolluted, all the fluids will be taken from it, the tyres, the battery.
It's got a good battery.
Yeah, we just bought a brand new battery for it.
Yeah, the engine will be taken out and
Right.
sent off. And
So do you think-
finally the car will just be put into the baler and cubed.
So what kind of price per tonne do you get at the moment?
I'm going to pay you £100 a tonne for that.
£100 a tonne.
Oh, there she goes. There she goes. It's amazing how small they get it. Here's the chassis all chopped up. Oh yes, yeah, the Land Rover. There she is. Land Rover, all ready for her next job in life. That's great. Very nice. It's been a while for you, Harry.
So the Landy is no more.
Sad day. Sad day.
You've had a lot of happy memories, haven't you?
Yeah. Happy memories.
The Land Rover is good at towing, it's got 4-wheel drive, and it's very powerful. This isn't, although it's very comfortable. I'm going to make do with my car, the Renault Aventime. It's an impractical car from the early 2000s. It's a bit of a modern classic. It's got big doors. It's very comfortable for long journeys. Obviously this is not a good replacement, but I think this probably will pull the boat, so I'm going to put a tow hitch on. Okay. got to fit in under here. This is nicely galvanised and no rust at all. Right, that's the big bit. Slide the nut of G. Slide the nut of G. The tow hitch is on. It took me slightly longer than I'd planned. It's now dark. So the tow hitch is done, but before we can tow the boat, there are a few mechanical issues. This car has quite high miles. I've driven it into the ground. Really, it needs to go to a garage, but before it does, I'm just going to clean it because hopefully that'll make the garage feel better about it. A very nice man called Lawrence said, "Hey, I can probably help you sort out the car." There's a lot of crisps. Look at it. It's never been so clean. All less crisps. So even if it's not mechanically sound, the Renault is now very clean and ready to go to the garage. That's the check engine light. There's a lot wrong with it. Brakes, suspension, engine clatters away. There's a whine from the gearbox. You can hear the brakes squeaking, all the brakes seized up. But it's a lovely drive. It's a giant car with only 2 doors and a couple of seats. It's a little more clattering than it used to be. It's still a great relaxing cruiser. It eats the miles. I mean, it's got a lot of nice gadgets. It's a big gas guzzling, horrible, unenvironmental beast, but it's been converted to run on LPG. This car is now quite old and knackered, but I want to see if we can try and mend all the broken bits and get it running nicely. I mean, it's never going to be concourse. Whoa! So this is all fiberglass as well.
Yes, I was going to say.
As you can see,
yeah.
this was a scaffolding lorry.
Oh, I was going to say that was something quite. Yeah, that wasn't a key.
I think there's like a track rod end or something like that.
Okay.
That has been knocking for a while. So I spent quite a lot of money getting the brakes done.
Yeah.
Braking is definitely an issue.
Yeah. Yes, this is where you want to get the important work in. Yeah.
Yeah. See, the steering feels a bit funny.
Yeah.
And then shock absorbers.
Right.
If it's not too big a job, I don't know.
Tires.
So basically, tyres definitely we could do. It used to go through wheel bearings quite a lot.
Okay.
When it had its funny bent axle.
Oh, right, okay.
What's quite nice, I guess, is that we don't have to be too careful with it. It's
No, that's the thing.
it just needs to be functional.
Yes, because you don't want it, you know, it's a workhorse. Yes, you wouldn't want a 500-mile one.
Yeah, I mean, I need to be able to back it into the sea.
Yes, exactly.
So the brakes, they're still sticking, but only very slightly.
Right.
It's quite nice. It's sort of on the flat. It's like having an auto handbrake.
I like it, I like it.
It's an amazing view actually. The windscreen thing is unusual. It's different. Always like anything different, and it is immediately, even in nothing other than driving position, different, which is always interesting. But yeah, the view I think is quite spectacular. You can see yourself, you know, on a French auto route swanning along it, and this amazing sense of space is what feels nice. Because a lot of modern stuff feels quite claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Small glass area and stuff, and this is, you know, this is very relaxing.
The Ferrari house is a sort of luxurious potting shed in the Cotswolds where lots of classic motor cars get fixed. Classic cars like the Rover there, which apparently is a lot quicker than it looks, and soon to be the Renault Aventime, obviously. There's a distinct lack of Ferraris because they don't just work on Ferraris. People who own the garage watched the videos and they said, hey, bring it down, let's get it working properly.
I hope we can rescue it.
Yeah,
It's
well,
a bit worse than
I know,
thought.
sorry about that.
No, it's okay. And Mike was like, it's... But that is a hell of a car. If you hang on to that, you'll be sorted one day.
I've just got to keep it going long enough.
Just keep it going, exactly.
And it's going to be fine towing the boat, do you reckon?
It'd be amazing towing the boat. Nothing like something heavy on the back of a front-wheel drive car.
I've put the tow hitch on. What did you think of that? That looks alright, doesn't it?
It's a beautiful job, that.
Yeah,
That
who
is
did
a
that?
Job. That is really...
You could employ me here.
If it was a 50 grand car, you wouldn't worry about 5 or 6 grand now.
Yeah. I've bought you a nightmare.
No, you bought me an Enlightening's project.
But it's really shiny. Mike's done a good job polishing
Mike's amazing.
it.
And I feel like you guys have got a real love of interesting vehicles.
Anything interesting.
Yeah.
If it's fun and 2 or 4 wheels, then we're interested. We don't just do Ferraris, but we hope to do a lot more in the future.
It's come up really well. You've done an incredible job on the paint.
Well, it's like leather and polish, you know, they soak it up. They love nothing like a quick splash of polish.
Right.
So all of these are all yours,
They
yeah?
are indeed.
So this is your car collection and bikes.
Yeah, but funny enough, the Bruff's not mine. That Bruff there,
Right.
that belongs to somebody else.
One day I will have a car collection like this, obviously, or boats.
No, I think that's my plan. That's why I'm knowing you. You see, in the future, I can sell you lots of Ferraris.
Yeah, that'll be a roaring trade.
When you sell your channel for billions.
So this is what's wrong with it, basically.
Yeah, CV joint, engine light, airbag light, handbrake, front tyres, near side rear as well, offside inner CV boot, front near side brake stuck on, springs are rusty, one is cracked, offside bottom ball joint, slight play in offside rear. That engine is not the problem.
Yeah. It's just everything
It's what it's bolted to. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, but I think the main thing is let's get it through an MOT.
You know, it's absolutely fossilised. So, and it's because that keeps going until the next time would have been an emergency, and you snap them, and then you're left.
The labour's free, but it's to a point. It's like, hang on, I can't spend 5 days per caliper.
Yeah. Right, axle stand.
Everything the wrong height. Okay.
Unfortunately, the Renault is pretty bad. I think it's very high miles and it's slightly worse than most people thought it would be. The plan is to get the worst bits done so that it passes its MOT safety certificate and we can keep motoring.
While it's up in the air, we can make it all longer lasting. So clean up all the bits underneath.
The rust is taking its toll.
Yeah, it is.
Well, big old
Big calipers, yeah.
calipers, yeah.
They'll be off of a van probably. Traffic.
No, racing car.
Sorry, racing car. Yeah, sorry, they are off a racing car.
No traffic.
Hang on, look at those. They're off a bloody racing car.
It's a
I think
sad.
it's actually all right. I think it's going to be fine.
And we've always alternated between the classic cars and the motorcycles and in different ratios.
And have you always been into cars?
Yes, yeah, I grew up with cars, so I always loved cars. My father's involved in motoring, so we grew up with old cars and racing and things, and so it really kind of brainwashed from birth.
Rusty springs, probably that's okay.
Well, yeah, a bit what I think we'll do is like people used to do in the old days, rub them down and oil them.
Old springs are rusty. I've been cleaning all this up and it's starting to look a bit more respectable. Okay, I can see what this looks like. We've completely trashed the Landrover and meanwhile I'm fixing up my own car. But actually
I fully intended for this video to be one of those incredible fixer-upper YouTube videos where we drastically restore the Land Rover, give it back to the support team, and they drive off into the sunset. The truth is, Chris is very sentimental about his car. To be honest, I was quite disappointed. I wanted to make that Land Rover video, but this is real life and the support team didn't want that. He just wanted to be done with it and put it to bed. Obviously the support team will get to drive the Aventime, so it'll all work out in the end anyway, hopefully.
So that brake caliper is pretty knackered, that's got to be replaced.
Things have been getting pretty dirty in there, as the underside of the car is a very messy place to be.
Putting on the wax oil there stops it rusting and makes it look much better. Can I drive the 911 Porsche?
Of course you can. Of course you can. I mean, Mikey,
Really?
let's get it out.
Porsche. Can I even touch the key?
You can.
Whoa.
And it's important to remember that the 996 model, and unloved for quite a long time, even though period motoring journalists said how much better it was than the 993 it replaced.
Carrera 4 with the Tiptronic box, the automatic four-wheel drive. Just the job for the winter.
Harry says I can drive this. I've never driven a Porsche before. I've spent a long time looking at them. I promise I'll be very careful, Larry. So shall I just get in and drive it?
Get in and drive.
Wow, look at the dash. This guy's a proper racing car. I'm driving a Porsche. It's got a lot of grip. Feels a bit like a go-kart. Oh, it's lovely. I'm going to try not to crash. Just imagine one day I'd be rich and driving one. In some ways I am. I think I just went over a bump a bit fast. Drives very nicely. Brake stuff is very rusty. These calipers are all stuck. This brake disc is very rusty. These pistons have seized.
Amazing how knackered they look. Those are seized, so they aren't going back.
Yeah, I mean that's.
If it was a Ferrari, would we be restoring them?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, if I could. If I could. Yeah.
So what's that?
So you might argue there's another similarly rusty-looking large lump of metal. That's a caliper off a 250 Ferrari. Quite similar, you know, in better shape. Of course, I had to use British brakes. They're very good. They're the best.
Really?
Dunlop brakes. Yep.
Are we talking thousands, do you think?
Yes.
It's called the Ferrari House, but there are no Ferraris at the moment. One's in pieces, being restored, and when that Ferrari's done, I can sell that Ferrari and buy more Ferraris, and that's how I want to have the place. So you open the ends, and you look through those. Oh, I can see you. Hello.
So what are you making here, Mike?
Just a quick parts cleaner.
This is good. This is like Blue Pizza.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to get a grown-up to help you with that.
It's like, there's no sticky wet plastic, or maybe there should be. Prep in there because you would.
Mike is wire brushing my nuts.
Does look good in here, this.
No, it's great. It's
Doesn't
that
it?
whole point. Wherever it is, it looks good. It's a great looking thing.
There seems to be a lot of cars changing hands here, so maybe I can see if I can swap the Renault for this. Obviously this would tow Goodwin very well. The oil on this car has not been changed in a very long time, so we're changing the oil. got it. Yeah. It's not like it's
no,
black.
no, I was going to say, sorry. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's one of these little stupid things, you know, I place the front set while we're here, and it's long and straightforward. Because this stuff is very brittle with age, so I'm just very wary of trying to move the wiring as little as possible.
Right.
Might be a big old, but it should just pull off.
It feels like it's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
So it's just a glorified.
Wow.
It's alright, it's quite clean then. That's interesting, that is.
But it's quite
designation. But yeah, so I
It was looking a bit sorry for itself in here, but it's already looking spanking. New oil filters on, new spark plugs, old oil out, new oil filters in. Mike has made it look a lot more respectable. It's getting there. Right, it's all back together. Quick test.
It sounds very smooth.
good coffee and fresh oil, you know.
Onto the wheels.
Onto the wheels, yes.
Mike's working his magic on the wheels.
Soft with a bit of agitation.
So that's the special stuff.
That's the special stuff. Oh, so it's a lot of old grime. But
Yeah. Oh look, you look at that. It's eating right through
It
it.
literally just, you see it just. There we go, we'll give it a.
Now this is satisfying. Look at that. Look at this. Yeah, it's like the perfect advert. You are Mr. Autoclim.
I am, yeah.
So have you got a van full of look at this, let's see the magic.
Come on. Wow, oh wow. So this is how to make the Aventine really sparkle. Oh, beautiful.
Mike knows a lot about cars and he knows where all the tools are. He also is very good at making excellent frothy coffees in the frothy coffee machine.
A very important part of the workshop,
Very
isn't it?
important, this, yes. We've gone through a lot of coffee over the years. It's, yeah. And I've recently got involved with classic Ferraris and had quite a few through here. And we mix of things for sale, or we store things for people. And lots of bits and pieces that are personal to us, because we've been involved in this stuff for a lifetime.
Vast majority of our imports come from outside the country.
Mike is sort of motoring royalty, really. He spent his life around classic cars, and Mike's dad actually ran Aston Martin for many years. So Mike has grown up around some real classics. Mike is working his magic on the bits of the brake calipers we're going to reuse.
So those are looking really good. It's interesting they're Lucas.
When I was taking the calipers off the back, I broke one of the brake lines. Mike's got one of the engineering companies next door to mend it for us.
Oh yes. Oh my god, yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, you look at the rust.
Yeah, you've got the whole centre section of under tray gone. You see this has been cut. Oh, my battery's going. It's very crusty under here. If we whizzed out that bolt and that bolt, you'd then be able to get at to square some of it away, but it is, yeah, this is looking pretty crap.
Yeah.
It won't be perfect, but it can be a lot better than this. Sorry, just got a bloody lump in my eye. One last squirt of WD
And home time.
yes.
Well, it's very rusty down there, but it's only rusty in places. Certain places are very rusty, so struggling to get the bolts out, as always. A very familiar scenario. The rear discs are very rusty, but been online and found some reduced from £90 to £7.
These were £7.
Oh, look at that. That's got. Look at that.
Said list price,
Yeah.
£97.
Yeah, which sounds perfectly, you know, what you'd expect.
I mean, hopefully they fit. They look right. 5 holes. Old brake pads, new brake pads.
The Cotswolds is very famous for its sheep. A specific type of sheep called the, what is it, lion?
The lion.
Called the lion. Got an expert over here, very good. So yeah, a particular type of sheep called the lion, which produced very good wool, and the whole area became very rich. The limestone in the area means that all the buildings have a very nice honey-coloured stone. It's a lovely place to be. There's a lot of sheep, fields, and Range Rovers. Is that about right? Yeah. Have you got a Range Rover? No. How else would you sum up the Cotswolds?
In Camden is famous in that its church is a wall church.
Ah, right, I read about the wall church, right. In the Middle Ages, the area became very rich from the wool that the lion sheep produced. And it's still a very rich place today, with Ferrari garages, a lot of Range Rovers, and very nice looking shops. Obviously those wool guys were very rich and they could build some pretty fancy churches. This one, St James's Church, is apparently the most fancy. It's pretty nice. Probably one of the finest examples of a wool church. It was built and paid for in the late Middle Ages by the fabulously wealthy local wool merchants.
So you can't lose them all, you know, just when you think.
I should. Yeah, I mean, it's proper crust. This is definitely getting into proper archaeology, but you know, it's a lot more convenient than trying to get down to the Titanic before discovering.
The old rust converter is quite good though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sort of, because it does give it a sort of nice waterproof.
The grand unveiling.
Oh.
Pretty smart. So we're going from this
Yes,
to this.
The bottom of the Mariana Trench. You can technically rebuild it, but it just isn't worth it.
Right, new brake pipes going on. I feel like I've done my brake disc training now. I could. New caliper, pads, disc, fixed brake pipe. Now we've got to do the other four.
Are these my ones?
Oh yes.
Look at that.
Oh, satisfy the boy racer in you.
Got some good tread on those.
A bit different.
I'm normally a cheap tyre man, but Mike's persuaded me to go for some proper good quality tyres. These are Toyo, and they're a bit more sporty, and they've got a very deep groove.
What's the deal? Is that for water?
Yes, you know, you're just trying to shed water as fast as possible.
Rusty bits here, more rusty bits. I'm getting very dirty. Hopefully we caught it just in time and it'll go on forever more.
Getting there. Engine's looking better. New disc. Tidied up. Rust is gone.
It's looking much better. I think we've turned the corner, haven't we? We're now over the hill coming down the other side. It's looking much better.
Turn the corner could also be described as
Yes. Back brakes are done, so we're assembling the front brake calipers now. You put your foot down on the brake and the caliper then has two pistons which push the brake pads into the disc, which stops the wheel. That goes in there. This one's done. All the brakes are done now, so it's time to start filling up with oil and bleeding the air out. And then hopefully this thing should stop very well.
They're wonderful.
Look at that.
Type 51 Bugatti.
I mean, without you in the shot, it looks full size.
Well, this is because they were Bugatti specialists. They really got the looks right. It was the first one they made because they only made a few. Yeah,
That's the filler cap there.
Yeah, he just popped in there. There's your little motor in there. It was quite pokey. Only drove one rear wheel, which fun enough worked very well. It was enormous fun to drive. Very, very direct steering. You know, at the time we had a big, slightly gravelly drive. It was hugely good fun. You could quite literally just drift the thing. It was marvellous. It's a fabulous looking thing.
Brake fluid goes in there.
If that's gonna
Filler device.
Don't worry about that.
Before we.
Okay, down. Up. Open it, get the air out. Going down. Right, breathing brakes. It's turned out to be slightly more tricky than we were anticipating. It's taken all day. So air filter, very dirty.
Let's get busy.
This is very thorough. We're hoovering the air intake.
So what do you think, Mike?
I think I'm going to need my bucket and sponge, aren't I?
Oh, it looks lovely.
Nice. No, nice, lovely, yeah.
It's all on display, so you got to have them clean.
It's looking better already.
Well, surprisingly, it was holding it quite well, but it's actually quite dirty, you know.
This is the new addition to the Ferrari house. It's an Aston Martin. Mike's cleaning it and he won't let me in it because I'm too dirty.
It's like Zen and the art of cleaning cars. I do quite enjoy cleaning cars, do you?
It's very, you know, it can be therapeutic. It's nice. It's when it's rewarding. It's a DB7 Vantage. DB7. It is important because it has the V12. The original Vantage had the supercharged 6-cylinder, not the same. Shortly after this, they launched Vanquish. That was in the Bond film. The thing is, the Vanquish was a big jump forward. When they did the first Timothy Dalton film, The Living Daylights, it starts off as a Volante, the convertible car, which was my father's, and then it changes to a V8 with all the gadgets on. But the initial thing is it's the convertible. He said they explained that it's been winterized. You know, well, actually, yeah. But yeah, so that was ours for a bit. So yeah, I mean, I remember going to school in that. Had a very ordinary number plate on, which I had on my mother's Land Rover for years afterwards. And of course, no one ever noticed because it was just it was B549WUU, so completely normal. But that was on the Bond car, and now it's back on. I think it's back on a replica of the Bond car, but it always used to make us laugh because you just saw, you know, it was just a Land Rover with a normal number plate, but it was actually the Bond number plate, which was quite good. See the little droppy windows, just like an Aventine. They don't drop as far. Though. An Aventine, they drop further, and a much more substantial door on the Renault. But Aston always gets a really hard time for especially in this era, of the Ford components. All these little things, as a manufacturer, cost a fortune because everything has to comply with regulations. The mirrors, the vents, I mean, literally the lot. So everyone used to get in and go, oh Christ, because I've bought my new Aston Martin and I've got the same key as a transit van. And it's like, well, it's unfortunate, but it also really works. And Aston, and you know, you can't spend 100 million developing your own key. You have to use someone else's. But the trouble is, yeah, unfortunately, it was for decades. It was always Ford, and Ford weren't known for making sexy small components.
But they did make very good other stuff.
Look, there is a transit van.
There's a transit.
Has that got the same?
So literally, I mean, that's a more modern transit van, but you know, any Ford owner will be immediately familiar.
Oh yeah, that's like Sierra.
Because that's what I say. All manufacturers have to use the parts bin, and you know, Ferrari were very lucky because they were in the Fiat family. So you had Alfa Romeo, and you say quite often they had just, you know, very similar but nicer looking bits.
Would you drive an Aston Martin again as your daily drive?
Oh yes, of course. Yes.
Right, it's looking much smarter under here. Testing the new rear wiper, here we go. Bloody perfect. Ooh, look at that. Oh, it's a long way down. It's back on the ground. I tell you what, I've got used to it being so high. It now looks really low.
It's like a sports car.
We're going for a spin to test the brakes. I mean, it looks amazing.
Feels like a new car.
It's good because we're putting the new tyres on.
Brakes are working. It stops and it goes.
No, you can drive.
If you're happy if I drive, and I'll just...
Yeah, you can do the full brake test.
We'll just do a little lap, pumping the brakes, get the brake pads settled in a relatively safe environment.
Oh, I've forgotten how smooth it
The
is.
wheels are still on.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, we're not binding, that's vital.
Yeah, it's rolling nicely.
Yeah, so if you hold on tight.
Yeah, here we go.
So, I mean, that's locking up happily.
Yeah.
Right, we're rolling. Brakes are working very nicely.
You want to get the magic of pressing the button.
Oh yeah, come on.
Quite satisfying. So if you lean in, because that's the button, push and release.
Oh, so it's actually properly mechanical.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
Sorry, that's it.
it's a satisfying button.
Yes, because it's not electronic, is it? It's like, oh no, that's the real thing.
You're actually controlling the starter. It's not
yes.
like a computer.
I get you to guide me in.
You can trust me, Mike, okay? Take it right back. Keep coming.
No, it's a couple of bits and pieces being modified to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a case of...
Right, I'm off to get the tyres fitted. So Mike says I've got to go carefully on the brakes. Definitely feel much better. I've forgotten just how nicely this drives. In the Cotswolds, there are a lot of houses that look like this. New tyres are on. They look much bigger.
All balanced, pressure's all done, all torqued up, everything's all good.
Hold on, I think Ferrari. Is it a Maranello? No.
Obviously, I worry about the carbon footprint of this project and driving around a large engine petrol car. The Renault has a little trick up its sleeve in that it runs on LPG, which is liquid petroleum gas. It means it has no emissions and makes it a bit more eco. But it's still a fossil fuel, so maybe soon we'll go electric. If you want to go fully eco, just get a bicycle. Mike's doing the hoovering. It's looking a lot tidier in here. I made a mess, but Mike's tidying up. Every Bond layer needs an Aston Martin and Henry Hoover. Next stop, MOT.
Will it pass, Mike?
Will it pass? Oh, I don't know. I'm sure.
Right, off we go.
It sounds really nice. I mean, it's so smooth, the engine.
It's two Mondeo V6s end on end, but that's a very good V6, and two of them together makes a very good V12.
It's good rear visibility, actually, isn't it?
They're nice because it's it's a low car and it's very snug, but actually the glass area is quite good. It's yeah.
There's even a front demiss button.
Oh, there we go.
I'm a big fan of pushing buttons. I've got to warn you. So you can't get me into trouble.
I got that impression.
This one's really low miles, right?
Yes, only literally 17,500 miles.
Wow. Presumably fuel consumption is pretty,
strong, but not bad. No, well, at least as the start of the modern era, it's much more efficient than most of the old ones.
Right, I've got mud on the mat. Sorry,
okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll sort that out later, sir.
It's kind of like driving a bit of your sort of family history.
Yeah, it's a little bit late, but yes, it's still a big strong attachment.
Yeah. So this is my first time in an Aston Martin.
Oh yeah,
hopefully not my last.
Yes.
This is comfy. I mean, I've got a lot of leg room down here.
Well, that's the thing is, it's nice and snug without the pedals.
We've got the seat for the drone in the back. Under the bonnet, here we go. So this is the V12. Oh, it goes that way.
It goes that way.
So that's the inlet manifold.
Yeah.
So the fuel goes in there. So each one of those has got a piston connected to it. All right. Mike says I could drive it. So into first. That's it. Away we go. Cheerio! Speed bumps. So much power. The wheels spin at the back quite easily if you put your foot down. Oh, I've just stalled. So the Renault's not tip-top yet, but a lot of the big jobs have been done. Right, old air filters coming out. New air filters going in. I'm trying to get the pollen filter out. This feels very dirty. All the air that's been coming in through the heater has been going through this, which is very dirty. Look, there's a new one. So the car's computer's producing some errors. I can plug this in, see what the codes are, in theory. So I've got two here, the misfire from yesterday and an O2 sensor. So I can clear the faults. The engine warning light is now gone.
Yeah,
what do you think? Do you think we'll pass?
I hope for the best, plan for the worst. Hopefully, on a good day with a fair wind and a...
Okay, well, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Everything's crossed.
Right, off we go. MOT test, here we come. Hello!
Quick.
No brakes?
No brakes.
Yeah, see what the level is.
We're pumping the brakes.
I think stick the
Okay, I'll put the lid back on. So we topped up the brake fluid. I mean, it's still going down as you're doing it.
I'm going to cancel the MOT.
Yeah, you're going to cancel the MOT.
Yes.
So it's leaking.
It's literally there's a litre of brake
Yeah,
fluid.
it's all coming out. Look, I think it's come out of here.
It's the bloody tube. So we're going to need another
Brake pipe repair.
Yes.
Do you want to put your foot on it and I'll just see if it comes out of there? Okay. Oh!
I sprayed myself in the face with brake fluid, but I'm okay now. We're meeting defeat for today. This is
we need a new brake pipe.
It's a great shame, but it'll be good. It'll all be good.
Yeah, we'll get there in the end. Oh my goodness, look at that.
It's a proper Ferrari. I'm just cleaning the brake dust from the inside
Yeah.
to see what state they're in.
So what is this?
Ferrari 550 Maranello. Finished in its original car, dark green with tan leather. Manual.
Look at that.
6-speed, which is a big bonus. Got electric seats, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Great.
That's Ferrari. It's got a Ferrari V12.
Right.
Would you like to see it?
Yes.
Let's have a look. Beautiful. Be 500 horsepower.
It's massive though, isn't it? That is, like, that's the size of a small car in itself.
Yes. All of this is metal. All the wiring goes under here and it's nicely trunked over.
God, the doors are so light,
Yeah.
aren't they? And I mean, what happens here? What do you put at the back?
You can put some luggage on there.
You put your luggage or some snacks?
You put emergency snacks.
What about a dog?
You can definitely put the dog.
The dog will actually get a lot of looking out.
To get 2 dogs in.
Okay, 2 dogs in there. Got the classic Ferrari lights, like that to me
Classic
is.
Ferrari lights, classic
Yeah.
Ferrari exhausts, classic Ferrari badge.
This is the old prancing pony. Is that what they call it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But this one's going to be sold, right? Yeah.
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 Everything's for sale by then.
so it's quite nice. You've got some little bits you can work on. New
Yes.
bulb in here.
You've got nice storage here.
Several days have passed. I've given up on the old brake lines and made a new friend, Dean, at a performance brake specialist. He's made me up some sporty, newfangled, flexible brake lines. So the flexible pipe goes through here now. Got to bleed the brakes, get the wheel back on, off we go. Okay, wheels back on, we're ready to go. Brakes are working, feels spongy. So we have brakes, not ideal, but it's something. Right, we're back. It's MOT day.
MOT day.
MOT day.
Look at that. Actually looks good. That looks good.
MOT is very important to make sure the vehicle's safe. They're going to do all their tests and fingers crossed it's going to pass.
Okay, we failed the MOT, but only just. We just need a new handbrake cable.
Oh, well, that's no problem. Yeah. So, yeah.
pretty good, isn't
yeah,
it?
No, that's oh god, yeah, that's easy.
I mean, I was thinking it was a much longer list.
No, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. You know.
We're in the proper garage. Gary's got the car on the ramp and he's fitting the new handbrake cable, which means dropping the tank. And he's also put new steering arms on. It's going to drive very nicely. It's much easier getting in here like this.
Racing exhaust, is it?
Yeah, it came with that when I got it.
Yeah, they're just long enough, aren't they?
Oh, perfect.
No spare room in them.
Right. I mean, just the noise of that makes it look Formula One.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks better.
Yeah, it's more like it.
The one other thing it's failed on is a number plate. So we need a new one of those and then we're good to go.
To be fair though, this is terribly pretty, but it is about over 3 times the price of a Ferrari. So it's
Is it really? So this is a valuable car.
Very, very special car. Yeah, it's the only UK homologated NSXR.
Wow.
So if you're an anorak in this stuff, it's probably north of 300,000.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's
More than
really,
300,000.
yeah. The NSXR was lovely, a bit lighter, has a slightly different interior. They blueprinted the engine. Then beautiful full carbon fibre panels.
Right, this is MOT round 2.
MOT round 2, the custard creams are dealt with.
Thank you very much, Mike, for your help.
Absolute pleasure.
Let's see if it tows the boat after this.
It's going to be, yeah, oh yes, you'll find yourself cleaning it at the weekends. Just it'll be a whole new world. You know.
It is.
Can't wait to see it with the Goodwin behind it. I think it's
New number plates here.
Come and work here. No pension, no dental. Mediocre wages.
Chunky old engine, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's that there then, that engine?
Straight 6, twin cam, 3.4 litres.
So twin cam is that bit?
Yeah, so the camshafts run in here.
That looks like it's got a nice new coil.
Lovely coil, that's nice and shiny with wires.
Is this a bit like Noddy's car as well? I just realised.
No, nothing like Nobby's car.
Come on, what about this?
That's what you need.
Look at this. Yeah. Is this a gift for me?
We could do something.
Look, it's got a tow hitch. Yeah, but look, this has got a tow hitch as well. New number plate is going on.
Just getting this thing ready for the MOT.
Alright, starting her up.
Right, hopefully you won't see me again for a while.
Go carefully, hopefully it won't snow on us again.
Cheerio!
Eyes that way.
Oh, the steering feels so much better. Pass.
Passed on the emissions.
Pass first on.
It's passed!
His face never gives it away.
He doesn't give it away.
All right, it's passed.
We have an MOT. We have an MOT. It's time to go pick up the boat.
As the Lord Mayor said, there was $1 million.
This is how you fill up on gas. It takes a long time.
Okay.
Looks like it's been used as a bin store.
Hello, hello.
I've forgotten you got the camera going.
Right, what's happening here then? Why did you stack a load of bins up against it?
Oh, well, you know, boat's looking right. Patch has held up.
Hello, how you doing?
Right, here we go.
The lights do work.
That's it, on it goes.
He moved to a block.